Well, it's Saturday. It's quite a warm one. It's about 1 o'clock. A little bit of a breeze, so I have to be selective when I actually shoot. My plan is to actually grab myself a Guinness down at the pub and have a relax and then return with my groceries. But it feels okay. It's a warm day. Just got to take it steady, I guess. It's been very noisy this morning. They're definitely doing some construction work, some fitting out of new premises, commercial premises in this block here, as you can see. Yeah, there's a bit of noise there, and also the crate. They had some dew on, so it's very unusual for a Saturday to have so much noise. So that was a bit of a pain. And some guys are doing landscaping out here, so there's a lot of action about. This is where the building work's taking place here with this construction place. I think they knocked off about midday today, so that's good news, I guess. So tomorrow hopefully will be quiet, but it's a bigger outfit than I thought. I thought they were just going to do a small shop front, but it's that whole building, so it's quite a bit of work, but hopefully most will be internal now, so it won't be so noisy. So the dramas in America just continue on. It's not surprising it's taking a long time to get information about this, because basically if these lawyers only got about 3 to 4 weeks to collect the evidence that would normally be acquired over a 2-year period. So it's a big ask. But the most sensational thing is the video footage of they're accessing a couple of boxes of I think they estimated it's around 10,000 votes in one of the swing state electorates, and it could be crucial in changing everything, because this is video evidence backed up by affidavits of a lot of people working on the election, and I can't see how the lawyers and the legislators are going to get their way around this if the Democrats think they're just going to basically put their head in the sand and hope it goes away. I don't think it will, and I don't think Trump will let it go away. I think his rallies will continue on even if Biden is actually made president. And so it's going to be a very rocky presidency in my opinion. I've said that before and I say it again. It's quite pleasant out. It's bit of a breeze, but not too bad actually. It's quite still today, so that'll make it for a hot walk. I'm going to try to get a frozen turkey at Woolworths as well. It's going to be a pretty ordinary Christmas, unfortunately. Would love to have got away, either get down to Brisbane or Melbourne, but it's just I won't be up for it. I won't feel good enough to do it, for one, and it cost a fortune because of the my cousin confirmed that the airlines are gouging about 3 to 4 times the usual airfares before Christmas. They always go up anyway, but they appear to be gouging even more now because there's a lot of pent-up demand, obviously, for relatives to contact one another. So yeah, it's pretty difficult and expensive to travel right now. Well, the mainstream media didn't disappoint yet again. They predict there's going to be a horrendous heat wave hitting the east coast of Australia. And you can look further into the article and you find out that it is going to be very hot inland. The most extreme was 47 degrees, but if you're talking about Sydney or Brisbane, in the centre of those cities, you're looking about 33 degrees. It's quite normal, it's no big deal at all. So, as usual, mainstream media, totally unreliable when it comes to facts, but you get used to it, don't you? It just seems to be their modus operandi. They used to report news, now they suppress news. So it's a very sorry state of affairs we have with the media now. They used to be a positive aspect of a democracy, now they're working as a negative influence. The same as Pravda in the USSR. There's not much difference now between that publication and what the crap that's being churned out by most of the mainstream media. Very sad, but I think they'll have their day of reckoning one way or the other, whether it will be through a drop-off in ratings, which is already happening, readership, or the people themselves might just get jacked and start attacking journalists. I mean, anything's possible. I think people are really upset at the moment, especially with election fraud and what have you happening in America. And the media does tend to incite certain members of the public to riot and loot and call some peaceful protesters. Maybe there's a bit of karma awaiting the media. Who knows? I think anything's possible right at the moment. It's such a volatile situation, you know. Oh, by the way, I contacted my friend in Vietnam, and he's actually been able to go to London to catch up with one of his daughters who's having a child, or just had a child, and wants to catch up with them before Christmas. So he booked himself a flight to London via Qatar Airlines. Only cost him $500, which isn't too bad. So that's reasonable. And he's going to go down to South Africa after that. So he's getting out and about. But he's got an investor visa in Vietnam. So with that, you've got a lot more flexibility. You'll still have to go through quarantine on the way back. He's a bit worried about getting back rather than leaving. I think that'll be okay. But he's a bit concerned about being waylaid while trying to return. But if anything, this whole corona thing seems to be dissipating more and more each day. So fingers crossed we can all start to think about normal life rather than the garbage we have to put up with. But it was really good to hear from him anyway. And I told him about my plans with Penang. And yeah, I think that would work out really well. The big advantage of Penang is to get into Malaysia, you just automatically get just your passport stamped and you get 90 days. So it's so easy compared to going to, say, Thailand or especially Vietnam, where you especially have to arrange a visa. It does make it very attractive. So I'll be looking forward to getting over this if I can. He also, there was an expat who posted an excellent blog. He used to be an investment banker, and him and his wife, I presume they were living in Sydney. They came down and they made the plunge. His wife had to force him into taking the plunge, going to Malaysia, and he said he should have done it earlier. But he's now in Penang, and he claims that it's a lot better value to rent a property, because he says a lot of the people who have rental properties are just looking at it as a capital gain investment, and they're not so concerned with rent. So he's only paying $800 a month, whether that's US or not, I'm not sure, but it's still damn cheap considering it's about 2,500 feet in size. It's huge. So that would be, I think it's 9 square meters per 100 feet. So work it out. That's a big place, almost 200 square meters, I'd estimate.
And how we know if
damn big.
Jacob and Anderson? How we know?
I'm holding up all right, actually, feeling okay now. But we'll have that Guinness, I think. I don't know what's happening with the lights here. You never do know, they can be very slow. Still green here, that's right. Not going to waste time waiting around for them. Yeah, I'm feeling okay. Geez, some noisy people are walking around the streets. Yeah, beautiful day. Look at that. Not bad at all. I no doubt we'll get a bit of rain again at some stage soon, because it used to be, we seem to have these nice patches of sunshine interspersed with a bit of rain, so this would not surprise me. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm only a couple of blocks away from PJ's, so I think I will have a beer. It'd be good if the South African guys, the barman serving. Yeah, I mentioned him to Johan when I was contacting him. Johan went off to the number 5 bar yesterday. I haven't heard a report from him, but he actually told me he caught up with Mooney, who's one of the bar girls that we know fairly well. And so yeah, he's still circulating around doing a bit of the bar stuff, but I hadn't heard from Johan for about 6 to 8 weeks, so I was a little worried. But no, he was fine. We had a bit of a texted each other. He never actually uses the video facility. Probably doesn't want to run down the juice on his mobile. But it'd be a lot easier because I find texting a bit of a pain, but that's okay. Yes, but if and when these borders open, I'll be really keen to look at my options setting up shop in Penang. There's lots of places to choose from at the moment, but that's probably because there's no overseas people going there at the moment, so you'd expect there to be a ratio way in favour of the people looking for accommodation as opposed to the providers. Yeah, there's some good generous monthly discounts if you get Airbnb places too. I think the best I found was about 31%. So it's got to be 30 days. I put in February for 28 days. That wasn't long enough. It has to be, well, it has to be from say Feb 1 to March 1. So it's not 30 days, but it has to be cover the from 1 to 1 or 2 to 2, whatever, covering a whole month span before that monthly discount kicks in. And in some cases it can be a huge saving, because in Vietnam, you know, I got around 40% discount for booking a month as opposed to on a weekly basis when I was at Dot's house. Other thing you've got to consider actually with Penang is actually where mosques are located, because the call to prayers can be pretty noisy and you don't want to be really right next to a mosque. And that I copped that when I was in Sri Lanka, in Colombo. It's in a cheap place, really cheap, but it was pretty close to a mosque. So, you know, like the crack of dawn, you'd have the call to prayer, and it's not quiet, I've got to tell you. It certainly would wake up most people. So it's something to consider. But apart from that, they're pretty casual about things like religion over in Malaysia. It's pretty harmonious at the moment. Could change, but hopefully not. Hopefully they've got the formula right. But these things have happened in the past throughout the history. Cordoba in southern Spain was also a Muslim city, but they allowed Christians and Jews to actually cohabitate there. They just had to pay some extra tax, I think, was the only thing that was required, but it led to a blossoming of knowledge. But it didn't last, of course, but that was because the place was invaded from the north. So that was due to an external threat rather than internal collapse. But they've done well to keep the harmony there. And of course I'm a recipient of cheap booze from Indian outlets because of the politics involved there, so that's good. Ooh, yeah, I'm holding up okay. It's always good to get out of the flat. Really do have cabin fever, and I really envy the Johan that he's getting away, because he claims he's got it too. He actually did go up to Hoi An to just look around Vietnam, because you can travel internally okay at the moment. But so he has done that, which is sensible. But he's looking forward to a break from Vietnam. He doesn't want to be there all the time. So we'll see how it all pans out. Yeah. This Aussie guy who did the report about Malaysia, the one who's renting, he's very articulate. He was, he was good value, and he seems very friendly. And he says he's happy to meet up with people to have a coffee. He's the sort of guy I wouldn't mind catching up with. He's probably in his similar age group to me, just maybe a couple of years younger. That would be about it. So he seemed like a nice guy anyway. So it'd be nice to make connections with people over there, like I did with Johan in Vietnam. It's always a bonus when you do that. Anyway, we're in the block now where PJ's is. Salvation City, whereas I'm thinking about a Guinness. That's one thing I didn't get in Malaysia, by the way, in KL. I had a lousy Guinness, but it could have been the pub, or it could be the water. But I'll have to test out the Penang variety at some stage. But it will cost me more, because I've definitely got a great deal here. $8 for a pint is very good value internationally. So there you go. please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.